after
Yes,
you should
sir.
upload it. Okay, and delete
Oh,
it
okay,
from the,
sir.
do not mistake to delete. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so make multi-screen enable. Yes, thank you. Okay, I hope everybody able to view my screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Let me,
Yes, sir.
okay, share my screen, the course content.
The third one, MERN Stack.
One minute. I have done some modification. This is the full detection. Another way. Okay. Okay, let me explain. Okay, screen is visible to all of you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so some area initially you have clear idea, but actually till it is a roadmap how we can progress. First things first, everybody to progress it, you need to have a basic HTML, basic CSS, and basic bootstrap knowledge. Basic HTML, CSS, and bootstrap we are not covering here. We are considering that this is the section is quite everybody have already. Okay, even it is a basic HTML, basic CSS, and basic. So we can start from the JavaScript essential also, but till it is a part of the. Okay, it is a our MERN Stack FSD. Then comes the JavaScript essential. JavaScript is a very vital for this entire technology because it is a root and it is a fundamental things, and JavaScript these are the area basically required for for progress. So you can, it is a, suppose whenever it is a this process you can follow whenever you are writing learning a Java's HTML CSS JavaScript, and majority of not required, but if you are new you need to create a small mockup project in capstone project you can do. Then after JavaScript, again, you can do a small capstone project in the JavaScript. Then it's the basics of Mongo. After it, actually, you need to enter in the MongoDB and Node.js. MongoDB and Node.js. Again, after learning MongoDB, Node.js, you can do a very small capstone. Capstone project will be only CRUD, and it is a just a structure. And finally, it will be a solid project. Then API development using Express.js in Mongo, that is a MERN Stack. On it, the valuable part is called Express.js. It is Express.js will be required. Then you can do the finally React.js. Using React.js, we can create a single page applications and single page application which can connect with the backend, and also front end is a single page application. All of the features, these are the features, and again you can convert your capstone project here. Again, this content I have prepared for Angular and MERN and MEAN both, but it is a this is the content for the Angular, and majority of our internal project is in backend is a Spring Boot, front end will be Angular, some cases will be React, and all of will be simultaneously in our organization. And MERN and MEAN both expertise is very, very urgent. This course is created with the Angular also. And finally, a project after mini capstone project, and finally a resource need to be well equipped with the and need to deploy in the project also. So this is the entire knowledge. Yes, actually the things is it is not like that exactly same things. Okay, it is a Ramesh sir will be initially forward, and also myself is also involved in this program, so that end of the day our entire team can be built up and well skilled and well nurtured also, and entire organization can have multiple MERN Stack expertise resource. That is the goal of this program. Okay, so today is a day one session. Ramesh, you can go slow, but gradually we can speed up and we can enhance. We will expect more and more team will be joined.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let me
Sure.
stop share and you can start. And at least everybody at the morning, you can unmute yourself, your name, location, and okay, at least name and location. If you tell in verbally, that will be good. Okay, so that everybody at least inform your name and location, which location you have joined. Starting
Yeah,
from, okay, alphabetically you can start. Okay, anyway, it is showing in the Google Zoom chat. That's hierarchy you can. Okay, starting from Tonustri. Tonustri,
I shall be back in 1 minute.
Can you introduce yourself to Ramesh sir?
Good morning, sir. I am Tanushree from Durgapur, West Bengal.
Hey, morning.
Okay.
Morning.
Okay, so Shivak Mondal, you are? Shivak Mondal, your voice is not coming.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, you are from?
Kolkata.
You're from Kolkata.
Uh,
Okay, another one message to all of you. Yesterday, even at up to 4 a.m., I am making ready office. You got the message also. So our Kolkata new office, Kolkata corporate office, it is a COSPA office is a fully organized, even more organized in 1 week. And all of you should visit here. Here we are creating a dedicated lab kind of room also. You can come here, sit here, work here. Even myself is here. You can get the advantage to do work together, and all Kolkata team member should be in office also. Okay, all team member who are in Kolkata must visit to office also, and you take this advantage while I am here. And definitely it is not any big problem in today's world. It's a virtual environment, and I want to see that entire 24 into 7 our YouTube channels are busy, and even we do the so many international training, and also already corporate trainings is running by Ramesh sir. And all of you, whenever we are physically also take advantage, and expected next in the month of April for few days, even Ramesh sir will flown to Bangalore also. Okay, that is the planning in the month of April or little late of the April. So all of you take advantage. Thank you, Shavak. Shavak, your location where in Bengal?
Murshidabad.
Murshidabad. Very good. Okay, Pooja, you are from
Bangalore, sir. Bangalore.
okay, you are from Bangalore. Very good. Okay. Monikanto already introduced that. Okay, till Monikanto, can you give a single word?
Yes, yes, sir. My name is Mankanta. I'm from Bangalore, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So Ramesh, I want to Monikanto is very serious resource, upgrading very fast, and I am
I know.
able to foresee his okay good progress. Okay, and if he is a now multi-skilled, and we are expecting something positive coming days.
Great.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Sure, sir.
Gautam, hello Gautam,
Hi sir, good morning.
good morning. Okay,
This
so
is Gautam from Tamil Nadu,
okay, very good.
Mahadevpura branch.
So are you feeling too disturbed in the early morning, or you are okay?
No sir, fine.
Fine. Okay, and also how Anivan, can you unmute Anivan?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Okay, so can you give yours 1 or 2 line introduction to in front of everybody, because you need to know the bigger resources, and it is a long thinking after actually final this program. starting executed, and it will be consistent. And actually it is a total days of the week I will plan, but I will expect it is a quite every days in the 5 days in a week. Actually, I want to execute this plan so that very soon team can do. So Inivan is from Tamil Nadu, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tamil
Yes,
Nadu.
Inivan is Tamil Nadu. He is a very serious resource, and we expect
Oh.
now this time. And is on the Inivan also get family connected with the Ramis. Okay, when I was in Bangalore, but now it is a formal training is going to start, and it will be execute up to end. Okay, up to involvement in the project also everybody. Nishi
So anyone,
Lama.
1 minute. Anyone, where, which part of Tamil Nadu you are from?
Krishnagiri, sir. Just 100 kilometers from Bangalore.
Oh, great. Okay. Next. Nishi.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
My
please.
name is Nishi. I'm basically from Ooty, Tamil Nadu, but currently living in Bangalore.
Very good.
Yeah, thanks.
Nisha Shahu. Okay, Nisha Shahu, can you introduce yourself? Nisha Shahu,
Sir,
you are from which location?
sir, I'm from Chhattisgarh and from Kolkata branch.
Okay, Chhattisgarh, Kolkata. Shubhobroto Bosu, Shubhobroto. Can you unmute Shubhobroto?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Okay, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm Shubhroto Bose. I'm from Kolkata branch.
Okay,
Hello.
Shubhobroto, I am expecting you to come to our office. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
it is
Yes,
a
sir.
this office should be, we are creating more better environment so that multi-resource can work together. Please visit
Yes, sir.
office immediately. Okay. And
Okay, sir.
I not only these are the training, after this training, I expect another 20 trainers from our trainers and developers from these who are participating this training. Okay, we will definitely will do some assessment, we'll do some support also, and we'll do some assessment also, so that all of you take this session very seriously. No negligence also, and it will be it is no day skip also. It is not like think, okay, yes, there is a recording. Yes, a recording you can get the YouTube's also. So it is a live session. Yes, and all of you take the opportunity for this live session.
Okay, sir.
And in PCS Global, actually is a first kind of, it is a one corporate. Why this training is too early morning? Because Ramesh sir is executing a corporate training in a corporate batches actually in Kolkata. That's the reason he is busy with the evening slot, and even too early morning he is getting devoted to time. And actually, initially I thought it's after corporate training cover up we will start, but the things is he is till okay, he is started early. And also there is in Bangalore on organization, there is a training in the month of 2nd April. So I need some of the assistant from these batches who are in Bangalore, and I need directly who can assistant within this month. You will be such in a position so that some of you can be play a role as an assistant also while executing this training. The training is coming. It is in Rajajinagar, Bangalore. It will start from 3rd April onwards, and myself will be execute the training. I need at least 3 to 4 assistants from these batches. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now no more delay. So Ramesh, you can start.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody. And Anil, please try to connect more and more. Okay, so let people at least only 14 is not good count also. Thank you. We start. Okay.
Yeah, hi guys, morning.
Good morning, sir.
to all.
Good morning, sir.
Let me know
Good
once you're
morning,
able to
sir.
see my screen. Just a second, there was a multi-sharing screen also, but anyways, today's particular.
It's enabled.
Yes, I never tried.
Multi-share.
People able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me know. Hi, morning all. Good morning. So thing is today, as all of the told, like, see, we all are here to spend our precious, time in the fresh early morning, to learn some and a hot cake in the market. Hot cake in the sense, it's really a hot cake. Like, if we talk about MERN or if we talk about MEAN, whatever the technology stack, whatever you have, the Java FSD, what you're talking about, okay. So here, few of the people already I have talked them, and many of them are new also. So let's start from the beginning, from the scratch, okay, so that we should not miss out anything. But let me tell you one thing before you start, okay. So this morning hours, okay, this morning, see, first of all, I love this morning hours because morning is the fresh hours, and in my life I used to get the productivity much and more in the morning session than the evening, okay. It depends from man to man, but it's for me, I'm telling, we all were spending across the country, and we're spending our precious some time here. Trust me, if you are honest to ourselves, and if you little follow the path what we are talking here, and even if you are little executing in this path, you'll not able to recognize yourselves after a few months. Recognize yourself is not in by face, but by your technology knowledge. That is the assurance. You write the date and time, and meet me after three, maybe for someone it is 1 month, for someone it is 20 days, for someone it's 2 months, for someone it's 3 months max. So this today date is 3/2/23, and time is 6:58 a.m. So you just remember this. Now let's start. So see, it's up to how you take it and how you execute it, okay. Means execute in the sense how you, it's, see, everything, it's not at all not only a technology, but suppose if we are meeting a person, right, if we meet a person, it's up to us how we'll start behaving with him or her, maybe good, maybe bad, maybe something middle. So similarly, the technology stack learning also, how we will take it, the part of interest whatever you have, so that much of output you are supposed to get, it's damn sure. And I truly believe that the people who are spending in this early morning by keeping all work aside here, and they are truly dedicated. So that's my firm belief. So let's start. See, we'll be talking about, we all knows, but still little brush up for those who are here in you. So here, what are the technology, like especially the MERN, whatever you have, but MERN will start. So that is called full stack. Anyone is having any idea? Like, could anyone tell me, like, if this full stack people are talking a lot, like it's a full stack, full stack. What is this full stack all about? Anyone? What's the idea you have, so that I can have little idea, and accordingly I should proceed from the audience, please. Full stacks means like what? Like, what is the idea behind? Like, what you understood so far? Little bit, at least one sentence.
Sir, full stack means from front end and from back end, all the development of the software. This is called full stack development.
Okay.
Sir, according to me, like we full stack means have to know to code from front end as well as back end with the database
Right.
knowledge.
According to me, sir, when you get any project, we have to like develop like a front end and back end with the storing the database, sir.
Storing the database. One second, just a second. Yeah. So fine, all are true to the front end. Someone told is we see the applications we are developing, right? We are developing some applications. So if I tell in one sentence, the full stack is, we will able to deploy an application end to end. We'll able to deploy one application end to end.
Okay, sir.
So what does it mean is, end to end, we'll able to deploy application. Money, some noises are coming from your, yes. So we'll able to deploy some application end to end. What does it mean? What does it mean end to end? So that means the first part is we should able to create. We should able to create. I'm writing because this is important. Able to create front end. Second, we should able to create our backend. And third, we should able to create backends comes here. This backend in the sense, backend means our the core business logic, whatever we're going to write. Part of business logic even we'll be writing in the front end also, but the backend code which is not in the UI part and the other part. Okay. So here, as you already probably discussed, web, business, and DAO. So this is the typical three-tier architecture. Whatever we have, that is web, this is biz, and this is DAO. We already discussed. So what I'm talking about this backend in the sense, backend start from here, this part, these areas, this till here. Okay. So these backend, front end means from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. The web part. Okay. And the backend means it is starting from here to here, right? Where the DAO, the model part is also there, our business logic part is also there. Yes, we do write business logic in our web layers also. It's not a problem. So what we learn, so we should able to create front end, we should able to create backend, and we should able to create our database also. DB part. Database means the model part, the way we treat it. So it's very trivial nowadays. Even it's a database, people are talking in a different way. So these three are there, right? So we should able to create front end, we should able to create back end, and we should able to create database. These kind of applications is, we previously used to do and all these things, plus in our FSD, Java FSD development, we should able to deploy our application online. So that we learn. Okay. So actually, you see, this part is actually, we can say this is 2A and this is 2B and this is 3. So these consisting of our total Java's full stack development. Front end will able to do, back end will also able to do, in the sense web layer, whatever front end, whatever the technology stuff is there, how the page. Front end means what we able to see, right? We understand, right, what is front end means all about. Like suppose if you open something, here, like if I start open Gmail here, these all we know. Not sure why it's taking this much time. Just a second. Come here. So this front end means what we understand is this nothing but this one. Is that anyone disagreeing with me? The front end understanding? No, it should be clear from point to point. Okay, because these things we won't be repeating, and there are a lot of things to be learned here regarding this all front end, back end, and the database part. So the front end, in the sense what I said, is able to create our front end, means we should able to create our front end. If we want to create our front end, what are the things we are supposed to create? Can anyone come up? I told, if when you are learning Java FSDC, my session will be interactive. Okay, it is not like that, people will be sitting, so that doesn't mean a session at all. So I tell able to create front end. So if I say this is a front end, so what is in your mind? If you have to develop a front end, what are the things you have to do, and what are the things you have to create, or what are the things you have to develop? Anyone, please?
HTML,
Right,
HTML and
right.
CSS for styling.
HTML, CSS for styling, right? Anything else?
JavaScript,
JavaScript for
Angular.
logic.
JavaScript, sir.
And
Right,
we
right.
sometimes bootstraps too.
Right. See, a lot of things are coming into mind. So fine. So we understood. Then we need some technology stack. So to develop, so these part, right? So why I'm showing this part is now. Suppose for example, if I say something over here, so it's showing. Please enter your email ID and or phone number. What happened is if I said something next, we know all, but in technology we'll try to understand. So that's why I'm talking this. If I say this, what happened actually?
So it's exceptional handling.
It's exception handling. Okay. Anyone? Because these terminologies is very important. We should know.
The
Yes.
JavaScript function triggers here.
JavaScript function trigger, exception handling. Anyone? What happened here?
So it is a
Anyone?
user interface. So user is not able to stake by invalid email and phone number.
Exactly. The process you are telling is exactly correct. But what is that actually? What you call in technology term?
So
What you
validation.
call validation,
Validation.
right? Validation. So if now if I go back, so what we learn here is something called validation. Now in this validation part, I am in the web, right? Web in the sense this is my page, correct? So here I am trying to do some validation. So instead of putting anything, if I say something, so it's giving me the error. So that means definitely that that validation is happening here, correct? Here only.
Yes, sir.
Anyone disagreeing with me? Because I have not given anything. I have not given any data at all. I said next. So if something is happening, so that validation is happening where? In the client side itself. So that is called client side validation. Client side validation. Well, this will okay, man. Client side validation, right? Now, for example, no, these things we need to understand. This is the very basics. Now, suppose I have given something at the rate something.com. I have given, right? If I say next, what it is telling?
Couldn't find your Google.
Where
It
where
goes
we
to the
are?
backend and it searches the mail ID in the database.
Okay, so mail ID, but it might be a mail ID, right? Why it is telling it is not a mail ID? Yes, correct. What
Format
you
of
said, that's
your
correct. No, format is correct, sir. Something dot at the rate something.com. That is the mail ID fashion, right? So why it is correct? Couldn't find Google account.
Because that mail ID is
from
not in the
it,
stored in database.
it can find this data and data.
See, we are in the Google, right? What we are is there. We are trying to log in into the Gmail, correct? So
Yes.
the Gmail, if you say that, so Gmail used to have at the rate gmail.com, something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
right? @gmail.com something is to give. So instead of that, if I give @gmail.com, again, it's having some problem. If I remove this, again, some problem. But suppose if I give this @something.com. Now, this thing you should realize. It is again telling there is some problem. Now, again, after that, if I give here gmail.com, now this will accept it. Again, coming back. Even if I remove this, I only give this. If I give this, now it is coming back. So what are the cases I got the response right? When I gave a mail ID, instead of giving anything, that means by default, Google is sending that it's @gmail.com. Means in the Gmail, they have, this fella might have some account. Or if I explicitly mention this @gmail.com, then it's fine. But if I mention here @ymail.com, what is going to happen? The same, right? So that means what? After, so first, when it was empty, it was giving the client side validation, right? Because there is nothing is there. But after giving the mail ID to this box, when I'm saying next, so it is doing some validations, right? What kind of validation? First of all, empty validation we got in the client side. Second validation, we said we have given some haphazard name, but that doesn't count. But suppose if that haphazard name, only that haphazard name is there like this in the data, in their database, so definitely that will come out, because I said something like that. I said something like that. So that's the reason it is not coming here. See, this, by this name there is no mail ID at all. But you tell me anything, any of, suppose if I give, I give like this. Suppose if I give like this, but it is coming to the next. So that means, see, so just feel it. When I say, see, something is happening, see, something is happening, and it is coming back for the password. So what we understand from all this is some validation is going on, correct?
Yes.
Simply not accepting anything.
Yes, sir.
So these kind of validation, whatever is happening, we'll discuss in detail. This kind of validation, whatever is happening, that is called, this is one is client side validation, and another is server side validation, right? So how many times validation we have seen? And that validation actually, so client side validation, if we see the scope of this client side validation, it's from here to here. And if we start the server side validation, it starts from here to here. Even if it is connect to some other third party also, on that part also, that's coming. Please understand, if you really want to be a good developer or a trainer, okay, so a person can train if he or she knows, okay, or a developed he or she knows. So all these things we hear, nowadays, like anything, a validation, someone's telling client side validation, server side validation. If you put the client side validation versus server side validation in the web, you'll get a lot of story. But let us think in the real time what is happening. So even after that, even if I say this, if I say next, even he's again he's stucking me. That means I I have entered some value. He said, okay, I came here. Even he said, okay, but here he got stuck. Till it came here, but here he got stuck. So he's asking for what? Password. Password in the sense what? What he will do with that password? If I give something like that, what will happen? It is telling, enter your password. The password is wrong. What does it mean by technically? What does it mean? All these things, story, all we know. Daily 1,000 times we do this activity, but out of that thousand time, today one time let us understand what does it technically means.
So
Once we
it will.
say, Yeah, it fails because it is giving that. So I have given this user, this ramesh.pcs global something something like that as an username or as an email id, and when I say next, so what is happening, what is happening, it is going as somewhere and checking somewhere, correct? So what I am now, let us tell you the our React part of the Java FSD part. Whenever we are giving all these things, no, so this part can be our server side also, client side also, but most of the things it is a client side validation. But if you go to inspect, I'll show you when we'll be doing the React development. Okay, so that time how those data are captured. Here it's Google, we don't know how they are working, and they have, they have centralized and capitalized all these parts for the security purpose and all. But when we'll be doing some typical application, okay, from our end, so that time we'll be showing how we are, you know taking those data in our browser. I'll talk to that later when we'll be talking about, MERN technology. The web part of MERN is the React. So React is nothing but one line. Don't get confused. React is nothing but a one line, one page application. Single page application is divided to the component. But scope of that React is only, or scope of that React is only till this, only till this, only till this, only this much, only this much. It will not go beyond at all. It will not go anywhere out of this. Whatever is happening till this, till this, whatever is happening till this, till this. So whatever you are saving, whatever you are doing, so that part will be here only, till here only. I'll show you one glance after this, just before going. Okay, so just remember this. So what happened is, if I give this next, then it is asking for to validate that this is the real server side validation is happening here. Now if I give my real password, so it will jump to my Gmail box, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So that means from here it is, for my username, he for, for my username, probably he has taken some ID, and from that ID, and with that ID, suppose that ID is X, with that ID he is taking that password, suppose Y. So with this pair he is going to that storage, and from that storage he is giving me the data back here. So what we did, we have seen front end here. So we have seen front end here, correct? This front end is available here, and so this was our front end. We came here, we have done the given the password and all. We went to the back end. From the back end he's giving data, and the data is showing back to our mailbox. And to so what we covered is, what I said is, front end, back end, and database. So all things are, we came to know, right? All those things are involved here. Anyone is saying that no side is not involved? I said front end, I've shown front end. The back end, what are the kind of business logic by giving our mail ID and our correct password, if I put here, so that will jump to my Gmail, correct? Or whatever the application you are giving, if you put that credential, it will jump to that particular page, even if your banking page or any page, any application, any login, your Facebook or anywhere. So if you give your credential, so it will jump to your page. So that means from the front end it's taking your user ID, and after coming to our business layers, web to business, so it is taking your password. And see, this password encryption, lot of technologies are there, lot of patterns are there. We learn that part later on. Let us understand the fact. So along with that, we are going to the model part in the sense our storage part, where we have something, we have made some storage here. So this storage part, if we use, means if we visit here this storage part, if we visit the storage part here, so that part we are getting, okay, we are having some data over here, and that data finally we are showing back to our page. So this is the story, right? You are telling what you are talking, sir. These mail we are, daily 1,000 times we are checking. Yes, we are checking, but let us think in our technology way, in our Java FSD way, how it is actually, from where, what part, which part it is coming. Anyone would like to say me any? And on top of that, one more thing I said. I didn't complete it. One more said I said that. Um, Something wrong here. One more thing I say that deployment, right? The the last part it was there, so it was in the creating the front end, creating the back end, then the database part, and then the whole part we need to deploy. So then only we'll able to see here, right? So these parts, suppose if uh, someone of you, if like suppose if Anil is deploying this part in his local system, suppose this whole Google is owned by Anil and he is deploying this part, he is having some server in Bangalore in our PCS global room, and he is deploying his part in that particular office only, and he is accessing from there. So is that you, me, sitting from Tamil Nadu, sitting from West Bengal, sitting from Kolkata, other part, and is those people will able to access it?
No, sir.
For that global accessibility, we should make sure that that thing is deployed in some places from where people can access on the given permission, correct? So that is called the application deployment in online. We know this, but again I'm refreshing those terminology again and again because these are the basics. On top of these basics only we'll be learning the coding. So we'll start learning how to create our front end with some separate technology. We'll start learning how to create our back end with some separate technology. We'll start learning how to create our database, or what is our database, how to connect this from this backend request which is coming to the from the front end request which is coming to our backend. After from the backend, how it is connecting to the database, or how it is connecting to the storage, and from there how the data is fetching back and getting displayed back in our web. And all these stories, all, see, suppose you have in Bangalore, suppose you are trying to build a house, so you have a plan, you have an architect, you have everything, but end of the day you don't have land. So will that make any sense? If you have code, if you have everything ready, but if you're not able to deploy in anywhere, so nobody will able to, neither you can, I know you can have an house in Bangalore or anywhere, any part of your world without having any land. Okay, similarly, without deployment of your code, it will be there in your local system only. That plan, your house plan, will be there with you and with your architect only. So nobody will get fruits out of it until unless you are making the deployment. So the deployment part is very important, and this deployment part is also a part of full stack Java development also. See, previous days, suppose when we started our career in 2004 and 5 especially, so that particular time, so those deployment part was in company specifically. Even nowadays also few companies are there, these deployment people were the separate people. But today it's no, this front end developer means the Java, this FSD, not front end developer, FSD, full stack developer, means he or she knows everything. And for that there are some smart tool kind of DevOps, Git and GitHub and all, so that if you know all this part, so you don't have to be dependent. Suppose for this some request came here, what, this forget password, instead of this forget password single question mark, you supposed to put double question mark. So in previous days, for example, take this is a requirement. So if you change this also in a while, you have to keep waiting for the deployment team, then for the testing team. Testing team will test it. They'll give the feedback to the, from QA to the product, means pre-pod. Some pre-production, they'll say, okay, after testing it will be okay. Then after testing, it will go to the deployment team. They will make a var and jar, and that var, jar file or ER file will be getting deployed to the our server. But so lot of scenarios was there previous date, but in today's days, no, you just need an approval. Once you need an approval, you do the code in your system, do the checking, parallel checking whether it's working or not, and do some, performance checking also end to end with some other people checking also. And after that, you go to the GitHub, take the code, update it, just commit, that's it. The scenario is done. So no one is waiting for no one now. Yes, there are some pain, but those integration, and for that separate DevOps team. See, DevOps is also one important part. So separate DevOps teams are also built and this purpose. So we need to follow, and they have some structure guidelines and all. Accordingly, if we proceed that all for all project for all purpose, so there are all these guidelines are defined. Okay, so if you adhere to those guidelines, so we won't be, you know, falling in some loop, so that in some misunderstanding who has done what is not, because everything is scripted, everything is captured, everything is maintained, because we are very smart nowadays. We are getting smart day by day. Why? Because we have to smart, otherwise we can't survive, because day by day people expectation are increasing. People expectation are increasing in the sense that the requirement is getting complex. Very, I'm, see, whatever I'm telling this story, maybe these are the real story of our real world, but I am here trying to relate with our technology, what we are going to deliver, what we are going to learn, what we are going to serve to the society or nation, end of the day, which leads to our career, which is bread and butter, very frankly. So if you take in that way, so our life will be easy, you know. Is that I'm with you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let us take technology in this way, we'll enjoy the technology. Apart from learning, we'll enjoy it. It's not like that one technology will got means we'll go to some YouTube, see something, see some channel. Let us realize and let us enjoy it. So then something whatever you will do, no, you will feel better. So see, so this is so this is the base part what I said. See, and the last, the deployment part, whatever I said, no, so there is not a single thing, there are a lot of things, so we'll discuss if time permits. Okay, but before that we will be learning all these technology stacks, what we have to do. As I told you, even for the DevOps part also, people used to have the dedicated team, but even if we can learn all these things in our hand, so it will be easy for all of us, so that we can, you know, we can play with it and we can become the boss of it. So now just in a nutshell, if we means if we come here, where I lost the pen. A minute. Why it is not writing? Anyone?
No, sir. Not writing, sir.
Not writing, right?
No, sir.
So something happened there. Anyways, so just note, no problem. He is creating a problem. I have the story. Okay. So what happened is, see here. God. Wait a second. Anyways, somehow we understood this part. The last part I would like to conclude today. This is little issues are going on. I'm not sure why. Just check. See what is happening here is, see, as I told you, this front end, back end, and all. Let us understand the technology also. See, in the front end part, for the full stack development, for the front end part, so what we are going to learn here is, so as Alokda told you, there is a MERN stack. Okay. Here, see, even MERN stack is also there. So in the front end, if you say about front end, here we'll be having React. We'll learn it, and we'll be having Angular. So can anyone tell me what is the difference between this React and Angular? Anyone? Money?
Yes,
React
sir.
is a
React is an?
dictionary.
Come again, please.
Dictionary, sir.
Dictionary. Okay. And Angular? Hello?
Angular, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So it is a
Sir,
library.
React is a front end, Angular is the back end. Sir.
No, 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 no. Wrong,
React
wrong,
is a
wrong.
No,
library
both are
and
front end
Angular
only.
or a framework.
So see, see, I told it's a front end. See, it is a front end. It's front end. I'm writing in front of front end only. React is also front end. Angular is also front end. Okay. And apart from that, as you know, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those are by default. Correct. So front end,
Yeah.
all are front end. I'm talking about people are saying Angular is a back end. It's a very wrong stuff. We'll see how when Angular is a back end. It's not Angular is a back end, but there are ways we can connect Angular with the back end. But Angular is typically it's a front end part. But Angular is a framework. It's altogether a framework. And out of that framework, React is a library. So you can say this is a superset and this is a subset. Okay. So yes, so but even though being a library, React is such smart that with that part only you can cover almost all 99% of your the front end requirements. You can achieve the requirements of all of your UI part with the React. Initial days also React was not too smart, but day by day it's becoming so mature that along even without knowing Angular also, if you know React, okay, with that only we can do that development. Now coming to the backend. What are the backend parts, sir? Technologies. What are the backend part? Okay, the Java was always there. Okay, forget it. And then Java, Python, all this part was there. So those Python is one part. So here, what is the backend, sir?
Node.js.
Correct. Then the FSD perspective.
Spring Boot, sir.
Then
MongoDB.
it can be Mongo, it can be NoSQL, it can be MySQL, it can be anything. The database, the layer part, right?
Yes, sir.
So see any use that Java, Python, and all these things. So if we club together, no, if we club together all these technology stack or all, see in details I'm telling you now. I just mark here that HTML, CSS, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. See, these are the very basics. HTML, we'll do some application and we'll try to understand what part of HTML, what part of CSS, and how we are using with some real-time application. We'll do it, not application actually, it's some small pages or project, and how to from how to play with exactly for that in terms of you go to, I suggest you go to w3school.com for this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What I for everyone I used to say, even my beginning of my life, I also started with this w3school.com. It's a very nice place to learn about the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, later part for me, when probably in the next class, what I'll do is in the HTML, CSS, not with the JavaScript, I'll start with the HTML, CSS only. So we'll play with that HTML, CSS coding. Okay, and we'll see how real time some parts. See in one day, within 1.5 hours, or that we cannot cover everything whatever we learned so far our lifestyle, but we can out of that some important part I can take it out with that what I used to do, and that I can share with you, so that you feel that okay, so this is how it is working. Okay, and that definitely that will be little difference than your so-called book or the material available in the web. So that part I'll make sure. So that HTML, CSS, in the frankly speaking, that HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the HTML part is we need to learn, as I told you, w3school.com, go through all, but keep concentrate on your page layout, button, headings, paragraph, links, all this kind of stuff in HTML. As far as CSS is concerned, when you're coming back to the CSS, you have a look on this ID, class, padding, merging. those part. And if possible, the image cloning, the cloning part, the background image, how to put the background image. Okay. And in when I'm talking about CSS, it's it's last but not the least. So there are some framework is also available using the CSS kind of stuff. So that is some someone told like Bootstrap, right? So Bootstrap is nothing but again it's a kind of framework library. So this framework it's a so enriches, you don't have to do any coding, okay, much. Their code is available, you just add those part in our code. We'll see that in our React project, how we'll be adding our those JavaScript and CSS part, and out of that just we'll get, see, for example, what I'm trying to tell you is, see, if you if you go to the Bootstrap site, if you go to this Bootstrap site, here is everything is available. So suppose this, see all the components, all the parts, everything's are available here. So only for doing that code, for example, you have to suppose you are doing this code now. So just one parameters I'll show you today, it will be heavy for you, but just one line of CSS and one line of our what you call just one line of CSS and one line of our mm, JavaScript, if we add to our base file, that HTML file index.html, so we'll get the reflect effect of this, and all codes are available. Frankly speaking, there is nothing to hide and seek. Like, even you don't have to write the code for a pagination, for a footer, for a header, for a search bar. All components. See, I request you to go and visit this site. This so this getbootstrap.com. See, Bootstrap, there are this is typical Bootstrap, which is having only for the Bootstrap, but for React they are having some React Bootstrap also, that I'll talk to you later. Okay. So but let us learn this Bootstrap only, this typical Bootstrap which is coming from the JavaScript. And apart from this Bootstrap, there is something called Tailwind also. So please remember, these are the framework which is available for our the cascading sheet, the design and the look and feel purpose. So HTML is for nothing but the skeleton purpose, in the skeleton in the sense the structure purpose, where, like, mm, the basics of, as I told you, page layout and padding button and all these things you go through paragraph link w3school.com. Then come to the CSS. You please understand the ID, please understand what is class, please understand what is padding, please understand what is margin, please understand how the image background works, and how this cloning works, how this image cloning works. Once you have done with, you can have a look on this Bootstrap also, because we'll be using Bootstrap. It is very easy for us to develop the code. And apart from that, coming to the JavaScript part, we'll be discussing on the JavaScript part. Okay. So there again, the JavaScript variable, JavaScript constant, JavaScript function, how the if else loop works, how the while loops works, how the continue and break statement in the JavaScript, how to fetch an ID in the JavaScript. That is the most important part. Okay. How should we can fetch one ID? We'll be reading in React document.getAdmin ID. We'll be talking about DOM and all this part. Okay. So no need to get worried about. We'll be talking about virtuum DOM also. So how it is creating the reference, with the reference of what, how it is updating the things, that I'll be talking in detail. But from the basic learning purpose, we should have this. Okay. And and on top of that, in as all of the shown you in the syllabus, so there are some callback. All these parts are very important part in JavaScript. So those part I'll be discussing with the code. Okay. So those are very important. But these are what I told you, these are the very basics, we all should know. And if you don't know, I request you to go through w3school.com, so that if you do that, after that, when we'll be brushing our JavaScript, our HTML, our CSS, and our JavaScript, for learning our, in the sense, for learning this full stack, so that will be easy, and you'll be you'll be enjoying it. Whatever I'll be telling, you'll be enjoying it if you have these basics. Okay. So it's my request. It will take hardly 1 hour or 40 minutes, 45 minutes, even during tea break also, even during your some off time also, you can just have a look and you go through. Okay. So that's it. So that is the part. And the deployment part, definitely we'll see the later part, once we'll able to build one application, and definitely we'll deploy in the cloud. We'll be using the CI/CD pipeline, and we'll be using the GitHub and all this part. So that part also we'll learn here. So in a nutshell, before we conclude, means we close up. So what I am trying to tell you is, please let us have this picture in our mind very clearly, so there should not be any confusion at all in coming forward. So this picture I'll make you very clear. See. Here, so we talk about, so everywhere it front end or called web. I'll just the brief I'm giving. And here, this fellow from where he came. This fellow came from some separate pool, which I click. Anyways, so there, let's have a look here. There is front end and web, and then after that, what is to come?
Back.
Back end or controller, right?
Yes, sir.
And then here,
Database.
model in the sense data, nothing but our database, right? So here, if you take this our Java FST technologies, so as I told you, our MERN stack in the sense, MERN means what? The MERN, the React will be placed here. React.js, right?
Yes, sir.
Then in the back end for the MERN, what we are using is, we are using what? We are
Node.js
using
and Express.js.
MongoDB.
Backend MongoDB.
and here Mongo. It is Mongo, but the requirement can be anything also. Okay, this part can be anything, but typically in MERN we are using Mongo. We learn Mongo also. Very interesting, very interesting. They are changed, they are playing the database with like anything. So this is one part. And now coming to the Angular part, as I told you, the MERN, the mean stack, the Angular. This Angular is nothing was it was a framework, as I told you, right? Angular, or what we use here, here again the node, and sometime Express also. Anyways, Express in the sense that is for the outside API for consuming and sharing. Okay, so that part you don't have to worry. So this part, Anna, sorry, this part, if you have Express also. So this depends upon our technology stacks and all. Will we decide that? But please remember, here is the React Node Mongo. Okay, React Node Mongo along with Express. Here Angular Node. Again, we can have Mongo, MySQL, SQL, SQLite, whatever. We can have SQL. We can have SQLite. We can have Mongo. Anything, any part. So Angular Node and our database. And apart from that, so these are the mean and MERN stack. One minute. Yeah, fine. So this mean and MERN I talked about, right? But apart from that, we have some other stack also, where probably you heard of Python also, right? So for that Python, for the Python development, so generally people in the web, they used to use for the Django or Flash kind of framework. Okay, and along with that, the Python is very famous, and the right hand side you can use any kind of database or MongoDB, whatever. But last but not the least, let me tell you, once we know these things, we can play with any technology, with any requirement. We can shuffle this at anywhere, whatever you want. What I mean to say is, it's my call after getting the requirement, whether I am going to choose a React, whether I'm going to uh, mm, do in an Angular, or whether I'm going to using any framework like Django and all. Okay, it's my call. And on top of that, when in the middleware, so I can have Python, I can have Node, I can have Node Express, and in the right hand side, even I can have MySQL, I can have SQLite, I can have MongoDB. Someone is telling you you have to connect to Oracle. We'll see that challenge also. DBT will see that challenge also. But nowadays no one does, because those things are. I'll tell you why, because after learning something only you'll able to realize that why and why not. So these are the typical stack we are going to learn for your MERN stack. Okay, apart from Python. And for the React, as for the React is concerned, today I'll tell you, please note it down. If you, we will be starting with the MERN. I will be starting with the specifically MERN first. Okay, so this is for M for
MongoDB.
E for
Express.js.
Express,
R for
React.
React,
React.js.
N for.
Node.
Node.js.
Node.
So so everything we are getting here, right? So in
Okay.
these series we are getting everything here, right? So this is nothing or MERN application. So with this, so whatever the even whatever the Gmail, whatever we have seen here, so that kind of application even also we can build in this way. But I'll show you last. One thing is, see, for example, if you see this page, or if you see this, if you go to this React.js page, no, see this page. You able to see this page? See
Yes, sir.
here, if I am clicking something, I am requesting you to have a look here, because this mother. So let me close this. See, have a look here. I am clicking somewhere. Is there any change? Is that page is getting refreshed? Page is not getting refreshed. See, the data is changing. Data is changing. The page is not getting refreshed. But for example, you take any page, you take any other normal application. Look here. I don't know whether they have changed or not. You see here, it is roaming, right? See, it's roaming. Would you able to
Yes.
see it? That means it's processing something and page is getting refreshed. See, it came, right? Something else came, correct?
Yes, sir.
Again, if I click here, see, refreshing. You see, one new page is coming, correct?
Yes, sir.
But see here, you click anywhere. See, I clicked here. The data came here. But the thing is as it is. What I'm trying to make you understand out of this is this React, whatever the React we are going to learn in coming days, that is called a single page application. We'll tell that single page application. Single page application is in SPA. That is called React. How it is React? See, what you can see in this page is, this is, if you minutely see this page is divided through some component. Component in the sense, if this is a header, right? Footer is also there. This is a footer. This is the left in left side they are also having something, and the right hand side or they are having all their data. But if you see this, you're not able to relate in this fashion. Okay, even though they are having some header, they are having some footer, but we cannot say this page is different than this page, because see, this page looks like intact as it is. There is even if you take here, if you click here in the, if you click in the videos also, see, they are giving videos here, but without changing the look and feel and anywhere. But if you see here, it is the total change is happening. Total change, altogether change of the page. See, the layout change, headers change, border change, everything got changed, right? But here, so this is not a single page application. This is a separate page application. Layered architecture they have divided in such a way that is that previous days all this kind of development used to happen. Even these people are also nowadays migrating to this full stack developer. Everyone has to migrate. So if something other technology is not coming in between faster than this FSD or smarter than this FSD. Okay. So now if you see this application, so as I told you, there is a header. So there is this is body. So there is another component, and so this is footer. If you go to this is footer. Now what is happening is, the challenge here is, So I have all these components. So all this page I'll be dividing through multiple components, and we should know how to pass those component data from one to each other. Okay. And now if I go to this picture, this if I talk about React, passing the data in this React is only till web, till this. But when we're talking about the MERN, so that data in turns connecting to Node, through Express it is getting exposed, and through that it is going to the MongoDB whenever it is required to fetch the data and connecting to the API to the outside world. So this is how all these applications are developed. The FSD, the full stack development is like that only. So that's the reason it makes a difference than our previous application to today's this Java FSD application. Why this is so popular? Why this is so, becoming so popular in the sense so highly in demand, and people are enjoying a lot like anything, and people are also who are learning, they are in highly in demand. The reason you can feel it, the look and feel, because suppose a layman is coming here, no, he lost. Suppose from this card, if he go to this single sign on, okay, it's a sign on, and after that he'll be thinking, okay, what is happening here? So previously it was something, some look and feel, but you see this page so intact. It is so like so coupled page. It is kind of tightly coupled page, but internally it's very very loosely coupled, the technology wise. So the single page application means that one only. So will be that the beauty of the single page application means, uh, so that is nothing but React what we are going to learn, and in turn those Reacts will be connecting to our Node Express to the MongoDB, and Express is to expose our URI to the outside world and to expose it or to consume it. I'm expecting those terminology something from you also, so that's the reason I'm pausing. But anyways, you always can contribute. So these are the things we are going to learn in coming days. So is that we are in some space, like something we understand today, something we got, something we realize what we are going to learn as a full stack FSD, or what are the stack, or what are the technologies, or what are the things we need to know? Anyone please? So
Yes, sir.
something we realized today, right?
Yes, sir.
If you understand, then only say yes sir. If you're not,
Sir.
ask me. So it will
Yes, sir.
take some
Sure,
time
sir.
also. This will take some time also to digest all these things, and to realize, and to to sense it. That's what I say, the adjective term. So you should realize it. So but this is a very beautiful technology, very nice technology, but my request to you to go through with that. See, let me show you one it's just 1 second, I'll just leave it. In the coming days especially, I'll be discussing with, see, see, few things are there with the HTML CSS, that the example that I'll discuss with you, how it works and how it's happened, all these things. Okay. And apart from that, and that JavaScript part also, few critical concept I'll be call back, and all this scenario that we'll be discussing, okay, with the code. So those are the learning you have to make HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and immediate after that we'll be jumping to the React. Okay, we'll build a React application and we'll do something. And as I shown you, if it is a component, so see, if I click something, it is getting changed, right? And even though if I go to provide feedback, it is, see, now it is redirecting to some other page, correct, the GitHub page. So this is a redirection. But support, for example, so if I give to the docs, okay, now if I go to the main content, so if I say event handling, see, something is coming here, right? So along with this ID, this handling event is showing here. If I say conditional rendering, it is showing the conditional rendering. So that means what? It is fetching this ID, and for that ID, whatever the data is there, that also it is getting rendered, right? So that means the data passing the data from the see, if this is a component, this is a separate component, but on clicking of one item from this component, so that component value, it is getting displayed to the other component, right? So these things will be learning how this traversal is happening. React is nothing but all this. Okay, so there is something called props, there is something called state. We'll be passing those props is nothing but a method parameter, something like in Java. We'll learn it, we'll do it hands on, we'll make our hands dirty and we'll do everything.
Okay, sir.
Is this okay? You people stop me if I'm going, if I'm proceeding, far. So if you're not able to, if you're not able to run behind me, you have to stop me. Sir, no react today, no react today. Be only with this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and be with only with the fundamental, because I want to finish it everything in whatever I know, and I am ready to give means. And see, I'll be very happy once you'll able to take it from me. Not only me, take it from me, and as well as from your learning, so you can you can enrich yourself in terms of technology, not in terms of anything, as I'm talking to you in terms of technology front, right? So you hope you people are all are aligned with me as per our today's class. Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because I cannot continue more, I have to even some other things also. Okay, guys, let's have a look on all this part, and the basics part are also HTML, CSS, JavaScript, at least all I told. So even the HTML, CSS, JavaScript also I'll discuss with you. The basic you see, and the later part will start gradually. Okay, the MERN I'll be starting that MERN MERN Stack. Once you're able to become a MERN Stack developer, people you can't imagine the value of yourself. Okay, not only MERN, any technologies once you're able to learn, so you'll become that identity you'll have everywhere in society, in everywhere. And yes, thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, this class will be repeated on every Thursday, sir, or every day?
that you talk to Alagda. Okay,
Okay,
that
sir.
you'll talk to
Okay, sir.
Alagda accordingly. Accordingly, even I'll talk to him. Let's see, you just get in touch with him. Accordingly we'll proceed. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay,
Okay.
sir.
thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.